Hi everyone, here we are today and we are going to talk with somebody from our church, Mr. Wolfsen. Mr. Wolfsen is going to tell us about an experience he had helping after a big flood. And so we're going to hear all about that. That kind of goes with our story about Noah and the big flood that destroyed the whole earth. This flood that Mr. Wolfsen helped with didn't destroy the whole earth, but it did a whole lot of damage. So we're going to find out about what he did and why. So, thank you for talking to me.
Yeah.
Tell me about where you went and why you went there.
Yeah, I went to High River in Manitoba, no, in Alberta, Canada. That's a small town where two rivers come together and make one major river. And during, for whatever the reasons, I really don't know all the history on it, but the two rivers came together, overflooded, and consequently, as people do, they build along the banks of water, and they were flooded out, severely flooded. So when we got there, a lot of the cleanup had been done, although the homes on the immediate water were not replaced. So nothing was cleaned up there. Eventually, the Canadian government took that housing all out of there.
Okay.
So we did get into about 4 feet deep in the town.
Okay.
So water was about waist high in the homes.
Wow.
So
that's amazing.
Yep.
Yes. So Mr. Wolfsen went to High River, Alberta. And if you have ever seen Heartland, that's where Heartland is filmed, in that town. And if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it because it's really good.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what is something that surprised you going into a flooded area, like where water has been waist high and people are dealing with that?
Yeah, we arrived 2 years after the fact.
Okay.
So the mudding or the heavy, nasty jobs were done. What we started doing was finishing up. Matter of fact, we were one of the very last crews, so we was doing a lot of finish up work.
Okay.
But you could see the prior damage and some of the things that had been done. And I guess the thing having done this a number of times, probably one of the friendliest communities I've ever worked in.
Cool.
You could tell they were always concerned for one another. As a matter of fact, the home I worked on, which was reciting, that home was owned by an emergency worker, a fireman, and also a school teacher. And he had put everyone else ahead of himself, and his home wasn't being done, so we did that as a favor to the family because they were so dedicated to their own community. It was just an example of the type of people that we were working with. A wonderful place to be.
That's great. That's good. And how did the people react with the help that they were receiving?
Well, very grateful. Even though, as U.S. citizens in Canada, you didn't notice any of that, of course, but people were so appreciative. Neighbors were always on hand to either lend a hand or at least sit and visit or bring you a cold drink or encourage you or any of the above. They just were just outgoing and so appreciative of somebody coming. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Did anything make you really sad to see?
Yeah, not really. No, having worked in a lot worse circumstances, I mean, this was bad, but it wasn't the worst we'd been involved with. And we weren't dealing with low-income people that had nothing and lost what they did have. We were dealing with middle to upper-income people who had lost something. A lot of them didn't have enough insurance and those type of things. So we were really helping top off instead of working from the bottom up to get it survival mode. So there was nothing really shocking. I guess one of the things that probably sticks in my mind is the home I worked on, like I was telling you, was a volunteer. For example, we were siding and they asked that we leave the back northwest corner to last because a mother bird had built a nest in a hole. And we arranged to side all the way around it and left it so they could, after mother bird left. So, but people were concerned about things like that, even as a homeowner. It wasn't like, get the stupid bird out of there,
Right.
Take care of the situation and then we'll go from there. So it's just a wonderful community to be in.
That's awesome. Yeah. That is so cool. So, how many times did you go out and help people who had been in flooded situations?
Deb and I have gone together at least 10, 12 times probably. Maybe not quite, but
I think I've only done about 4 or 5.
She maybe did 4 or 5. So I've probably done 10. Yeah, one of them I missed totally. California, I missed that one totally. But yeah, we did it for a number of years. It's rewarding work. Really is. It really is. It's people don't realize what devastation is till you've been there and seen it and been a part of it. Yeah. So it kind of relates to Noah. That had to been quite a sight for him to, after the boat came to rest and after you get out of the boat. That had to have been a mess. Now the good Lord could have made it nice too. I don't know, but
We don't know.
we don't know. But I'm assuming it probably wasn't real nice.
It wasn't really nice.
No.
I'm pretty
Pretty
sure
sure
of
of it, too.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that with
Yeah.
us. I'm
Yeah.
glad that you did. Helping other people, especially after things like that, is so important. And it's something God asks us to do if we can, if we are able. And I'm so glad that we know people who have done that. And I'm so glad that we were able to help people who live in flooded areas like High River, Alberta. So thanks for watching.